What are the things that America does better than the UK? We're going to find out right here on today's episode of the vlog. That's coming right up. Hello everybody, how are you doing? And welcome to today's episode of the vlog. Today was a really awesome day. I was out in Edinburgh, right here where I live, and I met somebody who watches the vlog who was from Portland in Oregon. Shout out to Stan. Stan was over here enjoying Edinburgh. He watches my channel, watches the videos, and has come here based on a lot of my recommendations. And I'm just so happy to meet as many people who watch my videos as possible. Whenever I'm in town, I've got some spare time, and I hear that one of you guys are here in town. It fills me with pride and joy, and I have to always do my best to come out and meet. And I'm so glad I did. I was out in Edinburgh today for 2.5 hours. I was speaking to the guys all about Scotland, all about the UK in general. We were speaking all about life in America, the United States of America. And it was just such a really interesting, fascinating discussion and cultural exchange. I really enjoyed it. And he also gave me this awesome t-shirt all the way from Portland in Oregon. Shout out to Portland, Oregon. I will definitely try my best to be there at some point in my plans to travel to America, right? This cultural exchange continues right here on my channel, and it's been so fascinating to do. As a lot of you guys know, I did a tour with the United States Embassy 2 years ago, the Exploring American Values tour, where they took a bunch of British vloggers around America to discover things that we might not necessarily have known about. But anyway guys, let's get to it. My name is Shaun. Welcome to everybody. Thank you so much for joining in with my videos. I'm a vlogger from Edinburgh in Scotland. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget right now, hit the red subscribe button in the bottom corner, and then you will be part of this family from here on in. Why wouldn't you want to do that, right? Have you done it? Of course you have. So, today's episode, I'm talking about some of the things that you guys do a lot better in the United States of America than we do here in the UK. And actually, there's loads of things, loads and loads and loads, but it kind of spurred on from this conversation I had with Stan today in Edinburgh. Stan from Portland, Oregon. We talked a lot about our lifestyles in different places, and I was kind of making notes mentally, and I've come home and I've made some proper notes. And jotted them down on my phone, and I'm going to be going through some of them to really discuss some of the things I think you guys in the United States just do so much better than us. I mean, this might sound like a frivolous list, right? But I think it's also important, and you know what? People in the UK in general, British people, can be a bit snooty and snobby about stuff in general, right? And I'm doing these videos to put that right because it's not correct. And I think it's just fun to discuss these things, right? And obviously, I would love to know your opinions to a lot of these things down below in the comments as we go along, okay? And to stop this video just dragging on for hours and hours and hours like it could potentially do, I've whittled it down to just 12 right now for this video's purpose, okay? Number one, in the United States of America, you guys make a great many better television productions than we do here. And I'm talking specifically about television dramas, right? The series that you guys produce. The natural home of Netflix and all the different streaming services of late. And I have to think about some of the amazing ones I've watched. Most of my favorite TV series are from the United States of America. And I know what you guys are going to say, right? Because I've heard, and I don't know how true this is, you can correct me, is that a lot of people from America watch a lot of British television programs. Am I right? Then well, let me tell you my upbringing. I'll talk about some of the more recent programs in a second, but if I look way, way back, even when I was young, most of the television programs I loved growing up were American. Let me think about it. Kenan and Kel, I don't know if any of you guys will remember that. Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Saved by the Bell. Those were some of my kind of early teenage shows I used to watch. Growing up more, I used to love Friends. Friends was an institution for me. What a program that was. And if I think even more recent, 2.5 Men, The Big Bang Theory, like the comedy sitcom type of shows you guys have just been genius. But then really recently on the streaming services, Breaking Bad, that was just so phenomenal. Loved that show. And all the other shows I watch right now are just so, so good. And then I have a think about a show that portrays Scotland and Scottish life, albeit from a time that was long since gone. Outlander. Outlander, as much as portraying Scotland and has a largely Scottish cast, it was put together by Americans, and also the original author, Diana Gabaldon, is American as well. What a great program that has been for Scotland. But then let's not forget cartoons, alright? You guys in America are the kings of cartoons. The Simpsons will just forever be known as the best, greatest cartoon ever to be shown on television, right? You guys do television way better, I think, in America than we do here. And that's universally agreed. There can be no argument with that. And guys, listen, I'm going to be saving some of the better ones until the end. So you're going to want to stick around until then. Number two, public holidays. Here's the thing, we have public holidays in the UK as well, probably just as many as you do, but I feel in America, from my experience, you guys turn your holidays into something really meaningful and special. And I know that is largely because you don't get that many holidays from work like we do here in the UK, right? You guys take your holidays so seriously, and a lot of the times you remember the purposes of your holidays. I was at Memorial Day, for example. What a special and important day that was. Never ever forget that. And you guys really have a meaning for it. We here in the UK, we have a lot of holidays, and they were put in place because of something or other that happened in history, but nobody really understands or cares. All they know is it's a day off. Thanksgiving, what a massive ceremony Thanksgiving is for you guys. We don't really have anything like that here in the UK, and we're kind of amused and interested by it. And I think it's really special. And you know what, just keep going with that, because I want to enjoy that lifestyle, that culture of important holidays as well, and like kind of rituals that go around that. So I absolutely love that about America. Number 3, drive-thrus. This, as I say, a lot of these things are quite frivolous, but also it's interesting and important at the same time, because a lot of your culture in terms of like food and the way you do things ends up coming over here, albeit delayed, right? So drive-thru is obviously something that has existed in America for many years, eventually made it over to the UK, and we have them as well now, but you guys have so many more options of drive-thrus, different styles and different things. You can even go to a bank drive-thru in the United States of America. Am I wrong? We don't have anything like that here, but dare say, because it goes into America first, we will get it at some point. It's just convenience, right? Convenience. Number 4, nature. Not any nature though, because of course we've got a lot of nature as well, especially here in Scotland, but in America, you guys have some severe nature. Nature that can quite literally kill you. You've got like bears. We don't have bears. You guys have mountain lions. Are they cougars, right? Cougars. Those things, like, they belong in a zoo. Like, the only way you would see a cougar here in Scotland is in a zoo, because like we just don't have anything like that. Sure enough, if you go back hundreds and hundreds of years, we did have dangerous animals here. We had wolves, and we did have lynxes as well, which is a big cat, but nothing like what you guys have. You have literally, in a lot of the different states, from the north to the south, dangerous wild animals, spectacular wild animals. And if it's not the big giant ones you have to worry about, especially more towards the north in the forests and stuff, in the south towards the desert, you've got an array of animals that could put you down with one bite. And I know this because I watch all the nature programs, and in fact one YouTuber here on this platform, Coyote Peterson, called Brave Wilderness, all about some of these animals. A Gila monster. Bloomin' heck, what on earth is that thing doing in a place like United States of America? That thing is lethal. But then you've got like rattlesnakes, you've got tarantulas, and you've got scorpions. Nature in America is badass, right? Seriously badass, and we just do not have anything like that in the UK. An important point. Me being somebody who loves nature, I would definitely say that is awesome, and I love that about the United States. Number 5, I'm going to talk about homes and houses, right? Sure enough, this one is very debatable, okay? Because a lot of you guys will say that we have got awesome homes and houses because of like the castles. A lot of the places where we live are like hundreds of years old, right? And you can really trace back the heritage, and we've even got like haunted places you can live in. Okay, I know they are different, right? But also, if you have a really nice house here in the UK, like a big size, big garden, you're likely to find that they cost a lot of money, okay? And it's also very difficult, very rare to find anywhere here that would have a swimming pool. Of course, the weather plays a big part in that, right? But I just remember flying over the United States of America, even Canada as well, places that are much colder than here, and just seeing like swimming pools for as far as you could see, houses, big massive houses, for literally hundreds of miles, people with swimming pools in their garden. And I just love that. I love water, I love having swimming pools, and we just don't have them here. It's a bit of a trek and annoying to find a swimming pool here, a public one, where there's like space for you to actually swim in, but a lot of you guys just have them in your house. Florida, right? It's almost as though like less people in Florida don't have a pool than do. And like you'll find that your houses in the United States of America, big houses, are a lot cheaper than they are here for a similar sized house. Number 6. Technology companies. This might sound a little bit odd, right? And I know there's places around the world doing all kinds of crazy stuff with technology right now, but United States of America has launched some iconic technology, and I have been a big fan, and it's played a big role in my life right here on this platform, YouTube/Google. like, this just made my life so much better thanks to this platform. But if you think about all the other social media platforms that we use, most of them were launched, started, and were born in the United States of America. Thanks to the unlimitless talent that you guys have for these types of stuff, you just launch all the best technology companies. Why is that? And you've ended up exporting that technology around the world, right? All the technology that I use, basically, even things like the phone, the hardware, is made in the United States of America, designed in America, right? So yeah, I am a big fan of American technology in general. The next thing on my list is sporting events. Now I know, like, a lot of these things are pretty subjective, right? Because we have big sporting events here, especially when it comes to do with football or soccer, as you know, right? But I just feel like every single game in the United States of America, everyone I've been to, has been like this big family event. I don't know if you've seen on my channel already a video where I went to my first ever American football game. I'll put the link up above somewhere. I went to my first ever football game in New York. We watched the Giants play the Detroit Frogs. That's an inside joke. You'll need to watch that video to see what I mean by that, right? But for me, it was fascinating just to arrive at the stadium and see all the people doing their car boot thing. What do you call it? Tailgating. And my biggest regret from that day, from that whole trip to New York, is that I did not involve myself with all the people doing tailgating, because it looked so much fun and everybody was friendly, and I was a little bit nervous and shy, like, look at this big event, I'm going to American football, I just want to get on my seat. And really, we could have got heavily involved in that, so that was special. But then inside the stadium, like the whole national anthem thing, and then the fireworks, and this wasn't any important game, right? It was just an average league game, I believe, and it was just such a big event. So like, I love that about the United States of America. So enthusiastic and energetic when it comes to sporting events. Every single one. Number 8. And now we're talking about barbecues. And I've done a video very recently on my channel discussing barbecues, some of the barbecues that I've been to in the United States of America. You guys just do barbecues so much better than we do. Go and check that video, by the way, after you've watched this as well. As I say, all the links are going to be up here somewhere. Barbecues in America are just like, there's no comparison. We are shameful in the United Kingdom when it comes to doing barbecues. We just don't know how to do them properly. I have learned, because I've went to USA, because I've been in Brazil quite a lot as well, I know how to do a good barbecue. You know what we do here in the United Kingdom, and call it a barbecue, and I know a lot of people will be offended by this, literally offended. Our barbecues are going to the supermarket and buying some hamburgers and some sausages, usually frozen, bringing them home and putting them on a barbecue, and then putting them on some bread, and that is what we call a barbecue. Right? But it's not a barbecue. That is not what you call a barbecue. I think you guys call that cooking out. That's literally what we call a barbecue. You guys do barbecues seriously and properly, and I admire that. Number 9, being outgoing and fun. Wow. Like, again, subjective, and I know we've got some really good people, especially here in Scotland, okay? But when I was traveling for the United States in America, one of the big takeaways for me was people being just so outgoing all the time and fun and friendly. I had such a really great time with that, because people would always just come up to you and tell you some crazy stories and welcome you, and I just felt really good and warm about everything. So a definite big point about the United States of America that I love is just people being outgoing, absolutely. And that's people from across political divides, people from different cultures and backgrounds and places, states, cities. I met people from a lot of different places, and generally speaking, they were all pretty much the same. Number 10, right? Some people think this is a good thing, others will think it's bad, but I think it's generally interesting, okay? Junk food, because you have such a massive variety of junk foods in the United States of America. And again, it's relevant, right? You might think this is frivolous, but it's actually relevant because a lot of that stuff does make its way over to us eventually. You guys have it first for years and years and years, and then it gets exported, and then we take it. And like I mentioned on this video, or on these videos a few months ago, we started to get things like Five Guys, Shake Shack, and even Taco Bell now you can find in the UK. So we do import a lot of that stuff eventually. So whatever you guys have there, basically, it's interesting for me to see, because we'll eventually get it here as well. And I'm really trying to think of a British fast food chain that I would say is better than the ones that you have in the United States of America, and I can't really think of one. So there you go. Number 11, and this one is a little bit controversial, okay? Right? Very controversial, but I think an important one to discuss. Cannabis. We all know many of your states have legalized cannabis use. Now, while I'm not a user myself, I think it's important because, like, they know it helps out with several medical conditions And up until very recently, it doesn't matter what kind of medical conditions you have, you could not get it legally here in the UK. We have been very, very slow on that type of stuff. Now, I know there's lots of discussions and debate on this issue, and like I said, it's not something for me to really decide because I've not got skin in the game, literally, but there is so much evidence that it does help with certain conditions. And listen, let's just be real about something. Alcohol, if we're going to talk about bad effects of certain substances, alcohol does so much damage and has done so much damage for hundreds and hundreds of years that I really think it's odd to persecute cannabis in a much greater way. So you guys have been far more progressive in that front than we have. And it'll be interesting to see if we catch up. There has been a lot of talk in our parliament about how we make the legislation very similar to what a lot of your states have. So yeah, you're a lot faster on these types of things than we are. And here's the last one, number 12. And I think this one's so important because it's really about the national psyche, okay? Optimism. This is the last thing I noted down. Optimism. I just feel when I've been in the United States of America, there is a sense of optimism all around, whether it's in the big cities like New York or much smaller places or even states where it's more rural like Florida. I just felt optimism all the way around. And I know there's negative people everywhere, but I just feel here in the United Kingdom, we are more dour. There's a good Scottish word for you. We are dour about things. We're a bit more pessimistic, a bit like doom and gloom about the world. Maybe it's the weather. I don't know what it is, but we are just more dour about things, where in the United States of America, I just feel there's so much optimism about different things, whether it's business, whether it's about travel, the world in general. Like, there's just a lot of optimism flowing through the United States of America, and I so admire that, right? And I just wish here sometimes was a bit more optimistic, because I, myself, am an optimistic person, and I think optimism rubs off on other people. So, in the United States, where I just saw so many optimistic people, it was like a real feel good, and I just felt I wanted to be a part of that. So that was my list, right? And like I've been saying, if you've been watching my videos, I am planning to put together some kind of like documentary type of trip to the United States very, very soon, in a way of really exploring these connections that we have, especially with Scottish people and Americans, and really kind of trying to understand that whole mix and really tour to places that I've not been and probably people don't often go in terms of British. So I'm very excited about that, and I will be keeping you updated about how that is coming along very, very soon, okay? Other than that, I just want to give a big shout out to all these people on the side here. These are my Patreon supporters who support my channel from $1 a month. All that money goes back in towards helping me to fund all the productions that I do on my channel. So big thanks to them. And if you'd like to get involved, the link is patreon.com/ShaunVlog. Right, that was the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I really appreciate you all. And until the next adventure, I hope you have a good night, morning, evening, afternoon, or whatever time of day it is, wherever you are in the world. Take care.